Hello everybody, this is Snowrest again with my RWBY Grimm Eclipse difficulty solo walkthrough. This is chapter 5, right on track, and I'm going to be using RWBY for the last time in this entire walkthrough. And if you notice as well, the gameplay has been sped up. I've started to come to a point where I'm accepting that for this walkthrough in particular, even though I have been enjoying making this, I need to speed up a lot of the footage going forward. It won't be all of it, but for this it is, because you're just fighting Grimm. The only new Grimm you'll be fighting is near the end of this level. But I shit you not, this original video used to be 17 minutes long, so I've been cutting it in half. And a big part of that is because half of the original quality of the video was exactly on the final fight, which is going to be about 5 waves of enemies. So I'm just employing the same strategies with RWBY that I did back in chapter 1. Pretty simple really, just 3 light attacks and a heavy attack to hit into the ground. By the way, if you hit down on the D-pad, I believe you can taunt. Just a fun little thing. Doesn't really do anything, doesn't tempt the enemies, it's just there for the sake of it, just for an emote. And I forgot what ability I added to RWBY after I got it to level 10, and I actually had to do this mission a couple times over, and it felt way longer than it actually was, so, you know, as tough and unbalanced as some of these other missions can be, I just don't like this one a lot. It's got a cool location and everything, but I just don't think they do anything interesting with it at all. And I apologise for the video that I ended off on last time went by a little too quickly. It just wasn't that long of a mission. It isn't super interesting until you get to that bomb, you know, that bomb escort thing. And yeah, sure, that's fun, that's fine, that's whatever, but a significant amount of the challenge and the appeal in that gets taken away when you realise you can do that whole thing without fighting anybody. And there was a long, fairly long cutscene of talking and dialogue to end it off on, and I thought I'd spare you guys all that. So if memory serves me correctly, when I did this, I died quite a number of times using RWBY in this, not because she's bad or anything, just because, I don't know, you make the odd stupid mistake here and there and you're paying the price for it. So what I'm going to talk about in a moment when we get around to the final fight of this mission here, is that you're going to start being introduced to sort of green crystallized versions of these enemies. Now technically the ones that burrow in the ground and pop up, you saw them in the last chapter, you know, they explode. Those are like the super mutant versions of the Grimm, and you're going to be fighting one that's a Beowulf, and while in this mission here I am a lot more passive towards it, and you know, I shouldn't be, because it's only like 1 or 2 of them. 2 of them it's definitely a problem. You've got to wait for the right chance for both of them to be vulnerable before you can start taking on one. But if you want to get through it quickly, you have to be willing to you know, hit circle to do a parry on them. But the thing is, some of their moves are so fast and so hard to telegraph that you don't know if they're going to do it or not, and if you mistime it, you end up getting hit. And when you end up getting hit, you end up being staggered, and that leaves you vulnerable to something else. So there's that reluctance to, you know, take that risk. And even when that's the case, if you fail and make a misjudgment, you're going to have to go through the entire fight all over again. And as I said before, this used to be 17 minutes. Half that video was that last fight I was talking about, and it went on for 9 minutes. It's absolutely ridiculous. But again, this is supposed to be played by multiple people, so, you know, I do wish there was some balancing done to it, but, you know, this is an older game, this is made by Rooster Teeth, and, well, apart from their usual products, you know, when it comes to their web shows, their series, for everything else, from their merch to their products, their side products like their games and all that, they tend to not really put in all that much of an effort. So yeah, that almost caught me off guard. Stay away from that, don't get caught out by that. Just stay back, use your gun, it's very powerful. And there's going to be a little bit of a transition here because I died in the sequence, but I loaded it back up again, because luckily there is a checkpoint there, so you don't have to do that fight again, I don't believe. You're just going to fight some more Grimm, and once these are all dealt with, you'll be going on to the final section of the game. What am I saying? Not final section of the game, final section of this chapter. No, it's not that easy, is it? But yeah, I was getting like rather tired last night, and I felt like it was starting to come across in my commentary, and it just wasn't getting all that interesting, and not that this is an interesting game or anything, but I just felt like I was lacking energy. I've been recording all day, and I've been even doing recordings like this for videos like this for 3 or 4 days, and this is all still new to me, a bit overwhelming, but, you know, here's what it is. And this is what I'm talking about. This shouldn't be very long, but it's wave 4, or even wave 5 in particular, that I found irritating. And So this morning I could have gotten started on this, but because I think I've mentioned before that I went through Steam and I managed to get my hands on Dead Space 2 again. So I hadn't played the game for about 4 or 5 years, so I definitely felt a little rusty. And even though it's on PC, I'm still playing with a controller because, well, you can take me out of console gaming, but you can't take console gaming out of me. I just can't help it. I prefer controller. I prefer just having it feel a little bit more rigid than a PC does. And I started doing a Zealot playthrough just straight away, and I'm doing my recordings for it and everything. And so far, I'm about 7 or 8 chapters deep, and I've only died a few times, and a lot of it was due to not being prepared. Because I use the weekends for a lot of my time to catch up on any YouTube I watch and people I follow and things I don't get a chance to watch most other times of the week. And so it's tough to try and balance doing commentary like this while also getting around to watching all those videos. And when I'm doing editing, I need to have my headphones on. I need to be able to hear what's going on and do this commentary and everything. And I can't have my phone or anything else going off in the background, or my laptop, whatever it may be. I can't have everything else going off because then it just ruins the commentary. But I did find a compromise, and that was to play Dead Space 2 with no volume while I was also doing this. And oh, be careful of this one here, because you'll be fighting Urs, or at least it's a possibility you can, while dealing with these damn buggers. And they're just so annoying, because like I said, one attacks you and the other one's winding up ready for it. Like, look, they're just popping in and out of the ground. It's a little tough to see, going so rapid fire, but yeah, trust me, normal speed, high speed, doesn't matter, they're all just going to keep popping up one after the other. And I was playing Dead Space 2 this morning, and you know, I'm almost halfway through the game, and for the most part I was playing with no volume, but I could at least acknowledge that as I'm playing on Zealot difficulty, which besides hardcore is the hardest, I needed to have volume for some of these. And a big part of why I did is because you got those pores or spores or whatever they are, they hang out on the ceilings and on the walls, and you can hear them, and they shoot mines at you, and you can pretty much die in one hit from those things. Although it's fun to see nothing's changed, where, you know, you get to the store for the first time and you see all these different suits and all these different powerful weapon variants, where you can get some absolutely broken New Game Plus stuff right off the bat. And, you know, I'll talk more about it when I actually do my walkthrough for Dead Space 2, but, you know, that is an option if you just want to get through it nice and quick and you don't care about integrity. But I mean, I suppose it could help if someone happens to be playing without an internet connection. One thing I did notice about while playing it is that when it came to the stalker sequences, they used to spawn in so early so you could always run back and get to safety very quickly. But for some reason, I don't know if I missed out because I had no internet connections for the most part when I was playing Dead Space 2. But they must have updated it when I didn't realise it years and years ago, where the stalkers wait so long for you to actually get into the room before they spawn in. So if you try to run back, they cut you off and they kill you. And it's pretty funny to see, and I'm quite glad about that. And I just realised we're coming to the end of the video, and I completely glossed over what you just saw. But I must confess, this footage is kind of old. I haven't seen it for a while, and I did not expect to kill them that quickly.